You're good to go.
Okay. All right, so I already owe you guys an apology. I was on the phone with my father about a week and a half ago, and I was talking about this talk and making the finals. And he was like, oh, that's great. Had to explain to him what I made the finals of. That's a little out of it. But I'm like, Dad, I'm kind of worried about this. He's like, why is that? You know, well, people I'm going up against have like really great ideas. Don't you have a good idea? Well, yeah, but like they have really great slides too. So? But Dad, like, you know, when it comes down to it, I'm just a kid with a messed up brain. Why do I need to talk about this? And he paused for a while. Didn't answer my question at all. He ended up just saying, you know, I bet you couldn't do it with 5 slides. What? What are you even talking about? 5 slides, you know, PowerPoint slides, 5 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I couldn't do it with 5 slides. Like, what are you talking about? I bet you couldn't do it with like 1 picture too. I can only use 1 picture. That's ridiculous. And he kept doing that, and kept doing that. And so I'm getting a little agitated. I'm like, you know what? I'll do it in 10 words. 10 words, Dad. Will that shut you up? He goes, I don't know. I was like, I'll do it in 10 words, and I'll just use a couple pictures. It's like, a couple's not an amount. I was like, okay, I'll bet you $5 that I can do it in 10 words, using only a picture of a Red Bull and something from Back to the Future. And he hung up the phone. So the next day, I called him back. He's like, you admit defeat, eh? I was like, you're right. There's no way I'm doing it with 10 words. I'm doing it with 7. So, I'm Andrew Kastner. I'm a student at the business school, also studying global health. And I love the idea of TED. I think it's an amazing opportunity, mostly because, and we've seen this in the talks today and throughout the rounds, it's this great forum where you can take an idea with technology, entertainment, design, reflecting on yourself, reflecting on discovery, reflecting on a possible discovery, and really decide, like, how are we going to utilize this to change society? And that's a great thing to do. So with that, I come to my first 3 words. Awareness, acceptance, and change. Society throughout our history has always been able to utilize these 3 concepts. It's our best ability. It's what separates us from every other species. We become aware of something. We make a discovery, we reflect, we debate, we disagree. But we take that, and throughout that debate, throughout that tension, we come to accept a new idea. But we don't just accept that. We're not just on a fact-finding mission. We take whatever we've just learned, and we apply it, and we change because of it. And that's really what my talk's about. Right now, we have a very high prevalence of sleep disorders in our population. It's just a fact. We also have a chronic problem of misdiagnosing or not diagnosing at all those sleep disorders. My goal is for us to start this process with sleep disorders. We've seen this with ADD. We became aware of it not too long ago. There's debate about it. Came to accept it as a culture. And we've changed because of it, and changed for the better. So, why me? Yeah. So why me is a big question. I'm a student at Emory, like I said. I play lacrosse for Emory men's lacrosse team. I do research. I'm in 5 classes. And I was diagnosed with narcolepsy last summer. Narcolepsy without cataplexy, to be exact. Now, the first thing that's already popped into your heads is probably that health video you saw with the dog running in the field. He's like, oh, it's a great time. And then he just falls over asleep, and everyone laughs. And I did too. I thought that was hilarious. But it's kind of changed now that I have it. And this talk really isn't about me, it's about you guys. And it's about kids in elementary school and middle school right now. So I was back home this past summer, doing an internship for Edward Jones. And I was so bored. All my friends were taking summer classes or had internships in other cities. So it was really just my internship, my family, and sleep. And like, let me tell you, my family was not taking up any of my sleep time. Because if you've been at my house on a Wednesday night, whew, it's popping. Bedtime at 10. So I had no excuse but to get the amount of sleep I needed, but to eat right, but to exercise. And I'm still feeling tired. I'm like, something's up, something's wrong. I need to do something about this. So I went to the doctor. And I'll actually do a little role play. These are my doctor glasses. Actually, they're my real glasses, but I'm pretending I'm a doctor. I'm like, describe all my symptoms. And he's just like, Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking iron deficiency. That sounds bad. Simple blood test will have it cleared up in a week. Blood test showed I did not have an iron deficiency. Up next was thyroid. Thyroid was a no. Just on down the line of a lot of crazy stuff, until he finally got to the most terrifying one of all. You know, Andrew, I know we've done a lot of tests. I don't want you to worry, but I think you might have restless legs. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. And I'm just like, that sounds terrifying. Can we save my legs? He's like, no, no, no. I'm not going to do the best thing for you, you can push it. But he's like, no, 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 I have it. It's a sleep disorder. I'm going to send you to a sleep doctor. You clear it up in no time. By this time a month has passed where he's saying, you know, we'll clear this up in no time, so I was already kind of getting annoyed. But went to the sleep doctor. He didn't predict what I had. He said that he think he did, you know, knew what was going on, but I took a sleep study. Textbook case of narcolepsy. And I'm just like, whoa, what does that even mean? Basically, narcolepsy without cataplexy means I don't randomly pass out and fall over. This is a simplified version. But again, this talk isn't about me. Why I'm sharing my story with you is this really just this idea that misdiagnosis and not diagnosed at all. Why is this? It's mainly because of our society's awareness. Now, when you have a sleep disorder, in this current age, I guess, we're constantly being pushed to do more, to write more papers, to play a sport, every bit of our time is planned, and obviously, like, we don't have enough time. I know I don't get the sleep I need. I swear to God, I'm not telling you guys, well, the solution to this talk is get more sleep. Well, that's great, you know, thanks. So, the problem was, I wasn't able to figure out I had narcolepsy until I was able to eliminate every single other variable in my life. That just doesn't make sense, you know. We need people to be more aware of it. We need to culturally be more accepting of it. We need to have doctors more aware of it. I was lucky enough to be a student brand manager for Red Bull last year. And the main thing I remember from that, besides the fact that I was drinking like 7 Red Bulls a day, which is really bad for your health, by the way, is that this idea in the marketing campaigns that they had, I was sitting in on meetings, and it would be stuff about finals, it'd be stuff about performing better in sports and running faster, and even flying. And that one was always a little iffy for me, but I think they have a new flavor that might get that next time, next month. So I'm just, our society is constantly kind of sheltering that away. We're not aware of it. You know, I didn't know what narcolepsy was. I asked a couple of my friends, and I got varying answers from, I think it has something to do with falling asleep. That was the closest one, to, I think it's a sex position. I'm just like, whoa, that is, whoa, no. Am I missing out? Is that a common one? I don't know. So, we're not aware of it now. We need to be aware of it. We need to educate ourselves. We all need to realize that, hey, maybe when I'm tired, it's not just because I'm not getting sleep. Maybe I need to look into, could it possibly be a sleep disorder? And that comes to our acceptance. This is Doc Brown from the series Back to the Future. It's one of my favorite movies. And Doc Brown is crazy. The first time he meets Marty, which is the main character, he shows up with this contraption on his head that he claims can read his mind. And it doesn't work. And the whole town thinks he's crazy. He's kind of like this outcast figure. The kicker is, though, he actually built a time machine that works. Like, he's a very smart guy. Which is kind of how we view sleep disorders and our problems with sleep right now. We're kind of just pushing it aside. There's valid science behind it. Would you believe it if I told you that a lot of the overdiagnosis of ADHD is now being linked to misdiagnosis of sleep disorders? Narcolepsy is actually the second most common sleep disorder, behind sleep apnea, which is snoring. 1 in 2,000 people have narcolepsy. They don't always have cataplexy, but they have narcolepsy. And it's very important we fix this problem because, and it gets to the reason I wanted to give this talk. When I was first diagnosed, I sat down with my parents, and I felt very lucky. I'm still at Emory, I'm still playing sports, you know. I've always had narcolepsy, and I always will have narcolepsy. Really all it means is that my brain can't fully decide whether it's asleep or awake. So I have to be on medication for it. Like, it's not a big deal. Moving on. But for a kid in elementary school or middle school who does not know why he can't concentrate as hard as his classmates, and is told by his teachers that he's just being lazy or dumb during the most formative years of his life, where he's really going to take that information to heart and create an identity from that, that's what upset me. After I got diagnosed, when I Googled anything I could find about narcolepsy, and the only thing that came up on Google was the recommended amount of sleep you should get for a normal person, which, by the way, they still don't know. So like all those articles on Google, if you click on them, they still don't know the answer. Somewhere around 8. But that's why I'm giving a talk. It's not for myself. My journey with this is pretty much over. I've been diagnosed. I was a lucky one. It's for the kids who are kind of coming up now, or you guys. You know, chances are one of you has a sleep disorder in this room that doesn't know it. It's not a big deal. Technically, the DSM-5 or 4, whatever we're on, classifies narcolepsy as a disability. I don't consider myself disabled. Which really brings us to the last thing, and my solution. Start the dialogue. That's the solution. That's the change. We just need to start talking about it. Culturally, we just need to become more aware of it. The main point of my talk is not to say that a society of efficiency, of pushing yourself, of staying up late and doing a lot of work, especially in college and in a career, is bad. It's not the natural opponent to sleep. It's really not. It's not even the natural opponent to recognizing that we're all different. I don't consider sleep disorders really to be flaws. My brain works a little differently. But I get to instantly go into dreaming when I fall asleep, like REM sleep instantly. That's a trait narcoleptics have. You know, everybody just works a little differently. And I'm not saying that we need to coddle anyone, but just being aware of ourselves, having kids be aware of themselves when they're growing up, it's going to allow them to not internalize anything, and also allow them to successfully go on in the future. So that's all I'm asking. Just start the dialogue. That's it.
Any questions for Andrew?
I promise not to do the betting thing for the main presentation, but my dad owes me $5. So,
Nice.
all right.
We have it on tape.
So. Yeah, I appreciate that.